but they're a destination because they've got so many quality people around the organization. They value all of their opinions, and it's working for them right now. 3 trips to the finals in a row. Injuries kept them that first year, and then the next 2, they're so hard to beat. They're nasty. They're awesome. They score goals. They play the funnest brand of hockey in the National Hockey League.
Their front office is like their dressing room. You can't have too many leaders, right? That's what you see. Now, for our Canadian audience, which we love, you're not even shy to say it. You're an Oiler fan. You're an Oilers alum. Where are they going this year, Al? What do you see?
Well, hopefully the youth pays off for them, but they're going to be a team. They understand. They've got an excellent coach. They play with great structure, and they need to stay healthy. And, that's one of the things that down the stretch last year, multiple times key players were injured. And I'm not sure how much salary cap space they have right now. It changes on a daily basis, and nothing's official until next Monday, I think. But, will defense be an issue? Will goaltending be an issue? Somehow they've been in the finals the last couple of years, no matter who's on their roster. And when you have greatness like McDavid and Draisaitl, you need those guys to be very healthy. But the bottom line is, how will they play without the puck? And that remains to be seen as this season goes on. And they had a key injury last year that everyone forgets about, that Zach Hyman injury. He was mutilating people in the playoffs and, throwing the huge body checks, winning all of his puck battles, scoring key goals, and all of a sudden they lost him. That was a lot of depth on the right side that they lost. A guy that was a really go-to player on the power play, played all the important minutes at the end of periods. He could play any style of hockey there is. He's a shutdown guy, a grinder who has a scoring touch, and you can never have enough of those guys. He's not as nasty as Matthew Tkachuk, but he comes to play every single night, and that injury. So keep their guys healthy and buy time to make a key trade if they have to down the stretch.
6 minutes left with Alan May from the Washington Capitals TV network. If we have time, I'll turn you loose on the viewers. They got questions for you. But for the 2 cities where we are anchored on television, Toronto and Las Vegas, I need to get your take on their teams. Let's start with the Leafs, because they're the Leafs. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, the Leafs are the Stanley Cup champion every year going into the season, but this year they're not. And I think that's a great thing for them. With the loss of Mitch Marner, I saw a lot of things I liked in their roster makeup last year, but as an old-time hockey guy, I saw a bigger defense that could box players out. I saw a team that was starting to play a bigger brand of hockey rather than playing that cute stuff that usually had them sitting on a beach somewhere after the first round. And I think as the season goes on, I really like the way Tree Living has gone into trying to build this team. And, will they need to make additions? They've got to make sure that their third and fourth lines are up to snuff when it comes to playing physical, to play in big hockey. Cute doesn't get you far in the National Hockey League when it comes to a playoff game. Maybe a Tuesday night in November or December it works. But in the playoffs, you need to be gritty. And they've got a roster that with some tweaks, I think they can do some damage in the playoffs. And they've got a coach who everyone thinks is like the biggest hard ass in the league. What he is he's very honest. He's a lot like Paul Maurice. Guys love him. He's one of the funniest guys ever. He's quick with a line. He makes people feel at ease. He treats the players with respect. They stay healthy in net. Maybe need one more player in defense. Would have been a great landing spot for Seth Jones or Aaron Ekblad. I thought they would have to go all out for Ekblad if they could, because that's one piece they're missing. I think they need a high-end right shot defenseman that can play in the top 2 pairings. And they're right there to make some damage in the playoffs because they still have a lot of key players that have good size that can score goals. So if they can make some changes along the way here, just some additions, they're going to be very formidable come down the stretch.
Mitch Marner has not smiled since he got to Vegas, or has not stopped smiling since he got to Vegas, which speaks a little to our conversation on the phone the other day. The pressure on the kids, the men in Canadian markets versus the U.S. markets. I think this is going to go great.
Well, in Canada, ever since the internet started, the old dial-up, and then we got the cable modems and all that, it's been hell for the players because they hear from it all the time. And you think of a lot of players, they seem like they're agitated in interviews. I always feel for Connor McDavid because it just seems like he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders, and they're hearing it from every side. And, the 2 national networks are, they're going at it all the time on the players. You have one bad shift, you never quit hearing about it, and people remind you over and over of your failures. You get to Las Vegas, you get to Dallas, anywhere in Florida, even Washington, D.C., you have a bad game, you could be -5. It's forgotten by the next game. And, guys can live their lives. They can go to the grocery store, and people don't know who they are. And when they do, they're very, happy to see the players, very respectful. So that off-ice pressure, I think you can exhale away from the arena. And when you go there, you just put your work boots on. And you hear that with the Panthers. One of the things that I've heard about Maurice, the guys go jet skiing or they're golfing, they have a suntan, whatever. He's not upset as long as when they get to the rink, they're there to work. And they've been great at being able to do that. I know that the Tampa Bay Lightning are the same way. And so when you look at that, they don't have all that extracurricular pressure. And people that don't play in the game, and Canadian people may be mad at me and upset at me, but as a guy that played in the league, you can really feel the difference. And it's fun for us to go up to Canada and get all the fanfare. I was in heaven in the playoffs in the broadcast booth in Montreal, the buzz in the city. But it's got to be hard to have to be on all the time and have every single shift scrutinized to the nth degree. So I think until someone finds a way to crack that code up there and shut the internet off in the playoffs, I don't know if we're going to have a Canadian Stanley Cup champion.
Oh, man, we need to do another sports banquet together. We don't have enough time. We have like 90 seconds. A guy wants to know, Jeremy in Winnipeg wants to know, is this Ovi's last season?
I wish I knew. He looked excellent at practice this morning. And I know his wife said something last year, but that's just based on his contract. What do you do if you go and pop 40 or 45 or 50 goals? Last season, before that injury, he was on pace to have his best season ever in the National Hockey League. And I think even with the 44 at the end, you add all that up, it would have been a career year. So it's going to be tough. I can't answer that. I hope he doesn't quit, because I've always dreaded the day that I'd be covering this team and there'd be no Ovi to talk about. I already missed my boys, Nicky Backstrom and TJ Oshie. I'm not looking forward to Ovechkin hanging them up, and John Carlson, two great guys, and have been such mainstays and stalwarts for the Washington Capitals. So I want him to keep playing, and I hope he does.
Sure, but what a hell of a run. Next time, it'll be a while probably till we have you on again, but Tampa Bay is playing Florida tonight in Orlando. I'd love to hear your best neutral site game stories, because it's always so much fun. I kind of wish I was there. That was the buzz in the press box last night. Are you coming to Orlando? I'm like, no, I'm not flying on a private jet like you guys are, but I would love to. It'd be fantastic. Alan, thanks for this. We're out of time. Always appreciate it. Good luck with the season.
Take care, Rod. Great speaking with you again.
As always, thank you, buddy. Alan May, Washington Capitals television analyst from the Monumental TV network. We will be coming right back with a sports update and viewer takeover in a moment. You're watching us across the Game Plus television network and the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network, YouTube Live, and 1700 Mission Radio.
Famoso, Italian pizzeria and bar. Taste, savor, share. Famoso, the spirit of Italian. Come in, enjoy.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with The Rod Peterson Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Peterson Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Peterson Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Peterson Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Peterson Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Peterson Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Peterson Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Peterson Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Welcome back, everybody, on Game Plus and the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. Be a part of the team. Grab your RP Show merch today at rodpeterson.com. Just click on RP Store. 902-518-3033 is the text line. Watching in Steinbach, Wilf writes in and says, "Hi, Rod. Good for Kirill Kaprizov, but bad for the GM and owner for the Minnesota Wild for giving him that contract." That's the breaking news out of the NHL today. Kirill Kaprizov of the Minnesota Wild signing an 8-year, $17 million per season contract. I thought Alan May just explained it very well from the Washington Capitals TV network that, hey, maybe he's not one of the best players in the league, but he's the best player the Wild have ever had, and they couldn't allow him to get away. They didn't want him to get away. That explains why teams do these things. That's why we have analysts on like Al. Sports update. Toronto shortstop Bo Bichette is hopeful he'll be ready when the Blue Jays open the ALDS on Saturday. Bichette, sidelined with a left knee sprain, told MLB.com that he's feeling better each day and will do everything possible to return. The Blue Jays earned a bye to the division series after clinching their first American League East title since 2015. 8 games are on the NHL preseason schedule tonight. Montreal and Ottawa meet in Quebec City at the Videotron Centre before wrapping up their home-and-home series Saturday at the Bell Center. Winnipeg is also in action. They visit the Minnesota Wild. The Vegas Golden Knights are at Colorado. Miami Dolphins star Tyreek Hill dislocated his left knee in Monday's 27-21 win over the New York Jets. ESPN's Adam Schefter also reporting he tore multiple ligaments, including his ACL, and will have season-ending surgery. The 31-year-old was hospitalized overnight for tests after being carted off in the third quarter. More on that in a moment, but the sports update is brought to you by Ultimate Fan Zone. Your team, your colors, your gear. Get it all at Ultimate Fan Zone Sports Store Moose Jaw or online at ultimatefanzone.ca. Clearly, obviously, terrible news for the Miami Dolphins. They win last night, 27-21 over the Jets. It was literally like the worst thing that could have happened because you beat the Jets. Anybody could beat the Jets. I felt they were looking for a reason to fire their coach, Mike McDaniel. But they won. It's very rare that you fire a coach after wins. But then you lose your best player in Tyreek Hill, and make no mistake, he is, I believe, by far their best player. Plus, he's a team captain. They might not win another game, and you can't fire Mike McDaniel now. You should have fired him after you lost to the Bills on Thursday Night Football in Week 3. But that's, again, Dolphin things. The RP show is brought to you in part by Outlaw Communications, by the way, where creativity isn't a hobby, it's a way of life. From strategic communications to leadership training and conversational content, we help your message connect and inspire. Glad to have you aboard today. Yeah, the YouTube issue has been an issue, but that's fine. Producers Corey's got us up on Game Plus Television, Silver State Sports Entertainment Network. We're running on radio in Georgia, actually Alabama. Now switch stations over there. Podcast, so it's a busy place. It reminds me a lot of Dan Patrick. You ever listen to Dan Patrick when he's on there? There's like 17 stations and platforms and things that he's on. It's welcome to the media in 2025. But what I will tell you is we are coming back for overtime in a second. 902-518-3033 is the number to reach us here. We will always be the Blue Jays show. Kirk writes in from Toronto. He says, the Blue Jays' final home game drew a whopping 2.35 million viewers, and 1.5 million stayed to watch the post-game celebrations. How about that? Signed Kirk in Toronto. Yeah, people are, they're still watching, no matter how they're watching, streaming or television or whatever. Was it the Kansas City, not the Kansas City-Baltimore game, the week before that, had 30, it was the Super Bowl rematch. Eagles-Chiefs had 33 million viewers. Yeah, these leagues aren't going away. Not the big ones anyways. Get your comments in again, 902-518-3033. We're back up live on YouTube, so get it going on the YouTube chat. Whatever you would like to discuss is on the table when we come back for overtime right after this. You're watching on the Game Plus Television Network, Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network, and various other platforms.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Peterson Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Peterson Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Peterson Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Peterson Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Peterson Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Peterson Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Peterson Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Peterson Show.
Famoso, Italian pizzeria and bar. Taste, savor, share. of Italian. Come in. Enjoy.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too.
Al-Anon and
Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge, big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca. All right, welcome back, everybody. It is the Overtime segment brought to you by our friends at Overtime Hockey Lanes in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. It is an amusement park for hockey players. That's what I always say. They call it where skill and fun collide. $99 a month for unlimited lane time. Imagine like the driving ranges for golf courses. Imagine $99 a month for that. This is the exact same thing, but for hockey. Batting cage, same idea. Check them out at 28th Street Northeast, Calgary. 902-518-3033 is the text line number to reach us. You are getting to know us a little better here. This is day 2 on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network all across Nevada, but we're always on the Game Plus Television Network, live noon daily Eastern and replayed at 4 p.m. Eastern. Blue Jays fever sweeping across Canada. It really has caught fire since June. And to be honest, I went to the very last spring training game in Dunedin I guess at the end of March, early April. And to be honest, it was an unbelievably positive vibe in TD Ballpark in Dunedin. I'm like, wow, we'll see how long this lasts. I'm not going to lie. I thought that they were going to be out of it by mid-June. Our former co-host, Darren Moose DuPont, who will be on this program tomorrow, by the way, the founder of this program way back 1,587 episodes ago, he thought the Blue Jays were going to be out of it by the end of May, and he lives in Toronto. And all of a sudden, things just took off for the Toronto Blue Jays, and we'll see how far it goes. We'll see how far it goes. As I said, I'm hockey first. Football, a very close second. Baseball, third. To the degree that grew up playing it, I still broadcast it at the NCAA level. I don't PR games during the season. There's just too many of the things going on. But come playoff time, I'll be watching every pitch. So today is Christmas for baseball fans. Baseball fans know that. And of these series, Detroit at Cleveland, San Diego, Chicago, Red Sox, Yankees, and then the Reds and the Dodgers. Of them all, I want to see the Yankees advance out of this series because I love fall ball at Yankee Stadium. All the greats are there. Joe Torre, Joe Girardi, the NYPD, the NYFD, all of it. I love it so much. So just win this series against Boston. Go 3. That would be great. And then let's let the Blue Jays have their way with them in the American League Division Series. It's a very, very fun time of year. Yeah. For a guy like me, it's amazing having all these sports go on when you host a sports talk show. I don't know how the fans keep their mind on everything when you sprinkle in golf and tennis and all that, but hey, variety is what makes the world go round. We do have the CFL fans that continue to watch, and we love them. Darcy writes in from Edmonton. He says, the Rough Riders better bring their A game on Friday. Road games are never easy, and Ottawa is well rested. Yeah, we do talk a lot of Canadian Football League stuff on this program. 20 years voice of the Rough Riders here, still a big fan of the league, and Las Vegas had a CFL football team. Toronto has one as of today. We did enjoy the talk way back in hour 1 about the rule changes coming up in the Canadian Football League and who's pushing that. We won't get into that anymore here. Laverne writes in from Swift Current, Sask. Glad you asked. He says, I will be checking out for 3 weeks as my wife and I are heading out on a getaway. Take care, my friend. I will keep in touch with YouTube when possible. Take care. Hopefully, when we're back, the Jays are still rocking and rolling. 3 weeks? I'm with you. I don't know. One game at a time, bro. The good thing is the Blue Jays have earned their rest, and they can sit back and watch the Red Sox and the Yankees kick the crap out of each other. And we'll see who emerges. Of the two, we got to think it's the Yankees because the Blue Jays have had their way with them all year. Oh, the poll question was, here we go with all the questions. From Fropen writes in on YouTube. He says, Roddy, do you think Vladdy will finally have a postseason breakthrough? Well, he's being paid like it at $37 million per year. Let's hope so. I mean, they just won the pennant. They did it the old-fashioned way. As a team, everything's got to go right to win a World Series. I don't think anybody would doubt that the talent is there to do it. Colt writes in, he says, Rod, do you think the NFL picked Bad Bunny for halftime because the NFL is doing all these international games and he is the hottest artist on Spotify and YouTube? I think you just answered your own question, Colt. I really do. I'll say this again for those that are just getting to know me. Certified recovery coach here, mental health and addiction recovery, kind of a student of human behavior. A lot of people ask questions they already know the answer to. They just want validation for it. Yeah, that's why. I'm pretty sure the NFL doesn't care that I've never heard of Bad Bunny, that I couldn't pick him out of a lineup. And I'm not in the minority based on the results of our poll for EMJ Marketing. 70% of you people saying you had not ever heard of Bad Bunny either, but that's on us. It's fascinating when you think about it. And one day we could do a deep dive on halftime shows. And the fact that they don't get paid is amazing. I was at the Grey Cup in Skydome, Toronto, 2012. Justin Bieber playing for free, and he gets booed in his hometown. I was disgusted that they would do that to Justin Bieber, primarily because he was playing for free. It's not like he needed the publicity. I felt like he was helping the CFL out on that one. Bad Bunny, maybe the same thing. Well, at least I now know who he is. Maybe I'll go out and buy his record this afternoon. Is that still a thing? Thank you to Alan May. Thank you to Scruffy. Most of all, thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you all tomorrow right here.
Dad.